Konbanwa, minasan. Go kigen. Saikin. Do deshoka. Good evening everyone. So we're now here on our lesson number 0010, 0010. And as I have told you in our previous lessons, when we're dealing with lesson numbers ending in even number, then we will be talking about all about grammar and sentence construction. But if the lesson number ends in an odd number, so that will be purely dedicated for kanji. Okay, so we're on lesson 0010, so we will discuss another form of speech, which is the adjectives. Okay, so basically in Japanese, generally speaking, there are two types of adjectives. The i-adjectives or i. Example is utsukushi. Utsukushi meaning beautiful, or oishi. Oishi is tasting so good or delicious. Oishi, utsukushi, i-adjectives or i-adjectives. Others call it i-adjectives, others call it i-adjectives, but let us call it as i-adjectives ending in I. And the other one is the na-adjectives. So these na-adjectives are those adjectives. Remember, the adjectives modifies nouns. The na-adjectives are those adjectives that are ending in na. Please take note if you are discussing with vocabularies and you see the tag na-adjective. So these are the kind of adjectives ending in na. So remember that basically in Japanese there are two adjectives. So that's the na-adjectives and the i-adjectives. So let's go. Sa ikimashou. Sasuku. So for the na-adjectives, let me give you some examples. For na-adjectives, these are the vocabularies. Shizuka, because normally when you say Shizuka, that's the noun form. The shizukana is the na-adjective form. Shizukana meaning quiet or tranquil. Shizukana. And then sto, kirei. What do you notice on kirei? It's ending in I, but no. Please take note that there are few exceptions. There are very few exceptions. And just like this word kirei or kire ending in I, but take note, it's not an I adjective, it's a na adjective. Kire meaning pretty or clean. Tomodachi, friend. Shinsetsu is the noun form. Shitsetsuna, when you place a na at the right side of the shinsetsu, it becomes a na adjective. So the shinsetsu noun form plus na adjective but its right side. Shinsetsuna, it's na adjective meaning kind. Sakana. So this is the tricky part. There are other words, there are vocabularies in Japanese that you may have noticed ending in na, but no, please discerning about this. The sakana is not a it's not a na adjective. Sakana is fish, so it's a noun. Sakana. Daisuki or skina is an adjective meaning likable or something that you like so much. Niku is meat. Yasai is vegetables. Na adjective is very simple to learn because it acts essentially as a noun. As I have told a while ago, na-adjectives are originally noun that you just place a na on the right side and it becomes a na-adjective. just like crispy na. Sometimes there are English words that you simply put a na at the right side and then you form that na-adjective. So the na-adjective is more simpler than the I-adjective. All the conjugation rules for both the nouns and na-adjectives are the same. So I want you to remember this when it comes to conjugation. The conjugation rules for the nouns and na-adjectives are essentially the same. So that's the same. Remember that the conjugation rules for the nouns sakihodo no sakihodo no yakamashi oto失礼します sorry for that noise 失礼 yakamashi oto 失礼します sorry for that noise. Okay, one main difference between the na-adjective is that it can directly modify a noun by just adding the na on the right side of that noun, and then that noun form suitable for a na-adjective, that noun form becomes a na-adjective between the adjective and the noun. But take note, there are some nouns that you cannot put the na and make it a na-adjective. There are only selected nouns that are suitable to being a na-adjective. You just place a na on the right side of that noun and it becomes a na-adjective. But I want you to discern those kind of nouns that can only be transformed to na-adjective. There are other nouns that cannot be transformed into na-adjectives. Hence the name na-adjective. So let's see some examples. Shizuka na shito, quiet person. Kirei na shito, pretty person. You can also use use adjectives with particles. Minasan, sakihodo no yakamashi oto shirei shimashita. Sorry for that noise. You can also use adjectives with particles just like we did in the last lesson with nouns. Tomodachi wa shinsetsu. Tomodachi wa shinsetsu. That friend is kind. Friend is a kind person. So let's take a look at second example. Tomodachi wa shinsetsu na hito da. Tomodachi wa shizuka na hito da. Friend is a kind person. As shown by these examples, the conjugation rules for the na-adjectives are the same as nouns. So you see that's in English it's almost similar to the SLVC sentence pattern, subject linking verb complement. So the subject is friend and the complement is the shinsetsu na hito. Shinsetsu na shito is the complement part, and the da is the linking verb. Similar to the SLBC pattern in English, but you just place the linking verb at the last part. So Bob's like fish. Bob wa sakana ga suki da. The ski is a na-adjective. Bob wa sakana ga suki da. Bob wa sakana ga suki janai. Bob wa sakana ga suki janai. Bob doesn't like fish. Bob like a fish. So this is a past form of the ski. So past form, you just conjugate. Bob wa sakana ga suki datta. The past tense for the da is datta. Bob wa sakana ga suki janakatta. So the janai, the negative form, when you transform it into the past form for negative, the janai becomes janakatta. Bob wa sakana ga suki janakatta. If it bothers you that the word like is an adjective, then and not a verb, you can think of ski as a meaning desirable. Also, you can see a good example of the topic and identify a particle working in harmony. The sentence is about the topic Bob and fish. And fish identifies specifically what Bob likes. In that sentence, you can see that fish is the one being identified as the one being liked by Bob. You can also use the last three conjugations to directly modify the noun. Remember to attach the na for positive non-past tense. Okay, so examples. Saka na nga ski na hito. Saka na nga ski na hito. So hito, the last part is the noun, and the modifying adjective is saka na nga ski na. So a person that likes fish. Remember, the one that modifies the hito or person is this compounded adjective. Saka na nga hito na. Saka na nga ski na hito. Saka na ski na hito is that lengthy adjective. Person that doesn't like a fish. So this is even a longer form of adjective modifying the hito or person. A person that doesn't like a fish. Saka na nga ski janai hito. Okay. Sometimes there are nouns or what I call phrasal nouns that are appearing as phrase but acting as nouns. And similarly, there are modifying adjectives or adjectives that modify nouns that not only appear as plain adjective but in just like this. Saka na nga sto, saka na nga ski sto, saka na nga ski na sto, saka na nga ski janai hito. So these are the lengthy part adjective, still modifying the hito or person. Okay, so let's go to the i-adjective. The i-adjective is the second type of adjective. So let's see some examples. Oh, the example number 1, kirai. Kirai is actually a na-adjective. Take note that it ends in I, but it's not an I-adjective, it's still a na-adjective. This is just one of the very few exceptions. So it's ending in I, but it is not an I-adjective, but it's a na-adjective. Kirai. Kirai is a na-adjective meaning distasteful or doesn't like or hateful. Sabi mo, no? Food. Oishi is tasty, an I-adjective. Takai, also an I-adjective meaning high, tall, or takai is expensive. Biru, building. The nedan, price. Restaurant, this is just a transliteration, restaurant. Amari or anmari, just the same. Not very or not quite. Ski is an adjective. Actually this this has a twin. Is also synonymous to the yoi or but if you will conjugate, I advise that you transform that into yoi. Okay, all I-adjectives always end in the hiragana I. However, you may have noticed that some na-adjectives also end in E, such as kirei na. So that's na-adjective, kirei na. So how can you tell the difference? There are actually very few na-adjectives that end with I. That's only the exemptions. That usually not written in kanji, but rather in hiragana. Two of the most examples commonly include kirei and kirai. Kirei is beautiful, kirai is dislike or distasteful or hateful. Almost all other adjectives that end in I are usually written in kanji. So you can easily tell that it's not an I adjective. For instance, the kirei written in when you write the kirei in kanji, it looks like this. It looks like this. Kirei, or this one. Since the I part of the second kanji is part of the kanji character, meaning yeah, it's part of the kanji character that it doesn't have any detachable part of this kunyomi, then you know that it can't be an i-adjective. So that's the hint. If that I part is included in the kanji, so it can't be an I-adjective. That's because the whole point of the I, precisely because the whole point of the I in I-adjectives is to allow the conjugation when changing the kanji. Sorry. That's because the whole point of the I in I-adjective is to allow conjugation without changing the kanji. In fact, the kirai is one of the rare na-adjective that ends in I without a kanji. This has to do with the fact that kirai is actually the derived form from the verb kirao. Because in later lessons you will learn that if you take the stem form of a verb, and if the verb is a godan verb, let's say ending in u, like kirao, you change the u into I. So the kirao, the verb is kirao, or meaning to dislike or to hate. If you change that verb into its noun form, the u part becomes you transform that u part into an I, so the kirao becomes kirai. Unlike the na-adjectives, you do not need to add the na to directly modify a noun using an I-adjective. So example, kirai na tabi mo no, hated food. Oishi tabi mo no, tasty food. So remember how the state of negative being of four nouns also ended in I, janai. Well, just like the negative state of being for nouns, you can never attach the declarative da to I-adjectives. So remember, if you're constructing a sentence using an I-adjective, please don't use the da at the last part. If you are constructing a simple sentence using the I-adjective, please don't use the da, the declarative da at the last part. Do not attach the da to. So see the rule. May I highlight that rule? Do not attach the declarative da to I-adjectives. Now that we got the matter cleared up, below are the rules for conjugating I-adjectives. Notice that the rule for conjugating to negative past tense is the same as the rule for the past. Notice that this rule for conjugating to negative past tense is the same as the rule for the past tense. Conjugation rules for I-adjective, negative. So if you want to transform it to negative form, first remove the trailing I from the I-adjective and then attach the kunai. So the takai, for example, takai, it has an I at the last part. So that I, drop that I and attach kunai. Takai becomes takakunai. So for the past tense, first remove the I from the I-adjective or the negative phrase form of the I-adjective and then attach kata. So let's see some examples. Takai becomes, what is the past tense for takai? Takakata. Remove the I and replace that I with kata. So past tense for takai, takakata. So takakunai is the negative form for takai. You simply drop the I, place it with kunai, takakunai. But if you want to transform that takakunai into past tense, then that I in that kunai, you drop it, and of course what we have learned in the past lesson, you replace that I with kata. So the takakunai, which is the present tense negative, you want to transform it into past tense negative. The takakunai becomes takakunakata. So please screenshot this summary for adjective. We have the row for non-past tense and the past tense. the positive and the negative form. Please screenshot this. Okay, examples: takai bir, tall building; takakunai bir, not tall building; takakata biru, building that was tall; takakunakata biru, building that was not tall. Okay, note that you can make the same type of descriptive noun clause as we have done with the na-adjectives. The only difference is that we don't need to add the na to directly modify the noun. So I don't like high pricing restaurants very much. Okay, nedan nga takai restaurant wa ammari ski janai. Nedan nga takai restaurant wa ammari ski janai. Or I don't like high pricing restaurants. Okay. An annoying exemption. So this is what I have been talking about, the exemption. The E is actually yoi. Please screenshot this rule. So whenever you encounter an E, please transform that E into yoi, and then make the conjugation from the yoi. In the yoi, you can drop the I from that yoi. Drop the I from the yoi. Okay, and then another exception is the kakoi. And please follow this rule for conjugation. Please screenshot this table for conjugation. So the E is actually yoi, and then follow the same conjugation rules. And the kakoi is actually kako yoi, so kako yokata, kako yokonakata. So please screenshot this table. Okay. So in the next lesson, we will be talking about the basics, fundamentals for verbs. So that's it for now. Kyoko komari desu. Goshichou kudasari, arigatou gozaimashita. Thank you for watching until the end. Please take note on some additional points at this description box. And again, thank you very much. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Mata ne. Bye bye.